Where do you want me?
Just there.
All right.
Right, you ready?
I'm ready, baby.
Just tell, everyone knows about you, but everyone doesn't know about you. Tell everyone your life story.
The life story, the life and times. No, I run the Produce Industry Podcast, which, if you don't know, it's just been an amazing audio outlet. And I'm third generation in this industry. My grandmother started at the grocery stores, right up here in Pasadena, and then worked in Huntington Beach, California, for 40 years of her career. My dad got into farming, and then that let us kids into farming, right? My brothers and I, we were in it. I picked oranges at the age of 15, 16 for summer jobs, and I have a passion for the industry. I love the industry, and fast forwarding, 20 years later, right? I say 20 years, I'm 38 years old, and I've been at it since I was 15, 16, loving what my dad did.
And so, how would you title yourself? Communicator, entrepreneur, vlogger, YouTuber, podcaster? We don't need titles in life, but what's your title?
I tell people I like to build communities, and the term networker, I think, is so outplayed right now. And building community is what I would say I do best, bringing people together. What's the word for that, right?
Yeah, because is there an issue within our sector that we're not good communicators?
I believe that we have areas that there is not transparency. I believe that in the farming world there's a lot of things that happen. We come from a farming base. I do, right? So I think that the communication between the farming through the marketer to the consumer, there's a huge communication gap. So I think by bringing communities together, having a little bit more transparency.
So my Uber driver this morning, he said, "Where are you going?" "I'm going to the Global Produce Floral Show." And he said, "What's that?" "It's the Global Produce Floral Show."
It's the Global Produce Floral Show.
But is this why we need you, and we need more of you, or this community to grow, that we can be quite introspective? We talk amongst ourselves. We have these great communities, but we need to get this message out.
Yes.
Like Kathy said in her headline speech, State of the Industry speech, that we need to communicate more externally. Because we can save people's lives, being jingoistic, by eating more fresh produce. But how do we do that?
It's about living it, right? That's what I say. My kids, people ask me all the time, Max, they're like, how do you get your kids to eat the produce? And how do you get them on your show all the time? I said, I don't. My kids, they literally will photo bomb me, video bomb me, because they see what Dad does every day, and they love what I do, right? If I bring home dragon fruit, my son's like, "Dad, I just saw this TikTok video. I know 3 ways to cut dragon fruit." I'm like, "Show me."
Love it.
Instead of being the dad that might say, "Put the knife down," right? I get people comment on my videos like, "Your son has a knife bigger than his head," and I'm like, "But I teach him," right? So I always say, live it. There's so many produce people out here. Listen, I know who you are because I see what you eat at dinner time, but there's so many produce people out here that do not speak and walk the walk, right? They're like, "Oh, do you sell Brussels sprouts?" "I do." "Do you eat them?" "No way." Let's talk about that, right? Talk about maybe there's ways you can air fry Brussels sprouts, right? Maybe the seasoning you put on them, right? There's ways, I think, if we communicate the right way, consumers will say, who did a great job doing that in this show so far? Peels. Did you see the commercial, right? How they added all those aspects of pop culture in, right? How do you eat it? When you share it, right? And you got to think about that, the full circle approach of that community and then getting the communication out.
So as I say, it's driving societal change. You can't dictate, like in the UK, you must eat 5 pieces of fruit and veg a day. You're dictating to kids. Kids are never going to do that. You've got to get there.
You got to get there.
Get
Steve Jobs said it best. You don't know what you want until I show it to you. Show the kids, show the community what this produce is all about, and I guarantee you everything else will rise.
So you're positive about the future?
Very positive about the future. Very positive.
Come on in.
We'll have them coming on in all day long.
And just big up everything that you do so we can all follow you.
Yeah, so if you want to check out the Produce Industry Podcast, it's on Apple, it's on Spotify. I always say, if you want to listen, that's what I say, right? Because it's very B2B, it's very produce-centric, right? And we're learning and growing together. So if you want to help grow the produce industry together, let's do it.
Boom, he's the man.